Yeah, I mean, it just I haven't seen a lot of movies. This is not abnormal for me.
It has been interesting though because the kids I'm coaching are like 20 years younger than me, and there's stuff where like I think of it as like very culturally important, and they just have no idea, and it definitely makes you rethink how important is any one piece of culture.
Yeah, or one piece of media, one single song, one single meme.
Although, the one that always blows me away is a lot of them had not seen Office Space,
I
which
watched
maybe you have
Office
not.
Space for the first time last year.
Okay, at least you've seen it.
Mm-hmm. And I was
Uh,
impressed how many things that I have quoted or heard quoted for years now were from that, and I had no idea.
yeah. What would you do? Nothing. Shit, man. My cousin done nothing. He you don't need money for that.
Oh man.
All right.
So
So let's see. I have loaded the deck. I click ready to start. I think that's
yes, right before we get started here, I just wanted to say when I faced Lou the other night, I was basically like, "Look, I'm 1-2. I'm in a real rough spot here. If I lose a third game, that might be lights out for me." And then I won. It's still
go
lights
for it.
out for me if I lose.
Yeah, I'll be your. You use whatever talismans you need, whatever lucky charms. Go for it.
I think this is my hardest remaining match.
Okay.
So this is do or die moment. And much like against Lou, um, I think it's a pretty low chance I win. So I'm gonna need luck and I'm gonna need to play well.
I rolled a 9.
I rolled a 13. That's a good start. That's a good start.
I assume you want to be on the play.
I will be on the play, yes. Hmm. I mean, this is basically a mull to 6 already. But in that case, why would I mull to 6? I'll
Oh, I'll
keep.
ask now. Do you want to record? You probably are already doing it. I just wanted to
Already
ask.
recording. Should have let you know.
That's probably fine. I didn't say anything too stupid.
No, I started recording partway through the movie conversation.
Nice.
Yes, I will keep this hand. And yourself?
I will also keep.
You hate to hear it. Okay. There's step one of my goal finished already. All right. We're going to just start with an Evolving Wilds. We'll crack it. Go get us a. Oh, I don't know. Let's go for a tapped plains and end the turn.
Okay, so I click pass and that bumps it up, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Untap, upkeep, draw. I'm going to play. Yeah, I'm gonna play a Blood Crypt untapped.
Oof.
I will lose 2, and I'm gonna play a Fairy Dream Thief. So
Okay.
I will surveil 1, and I'm going to put that into my graveyard, a swamp, and I will pass.
All right. We're going to go Glacial Fortress. We're going to go Talisman of Progress. And we are going to pass the turn.
Okay. Untap, draw. I will play a Dragon Skull Summit untapped. I will move to combat and swing for 1.
One gets me.
I will pay 2 and play a Scrapwork Mutt.
Oh, man. Okay, go for it. Yeah.
I'm gonna discard a swamp and draw a card.
Creatures just have so much value nowadays, huh?
They really do.
It's just
And I'll
crazy.
pass. Back in the day when you played a Grizzly Bear and were happy with it.
Yeah, I know, right?
I
Okay, I'll pass to
When I
me.
first came back to Magic, I found the cards from back when I played like in like 4th edition in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite card was like a 4-mana 4/4. I was just like, man, things have changed.
Alright, I'm gonna play a Mind Stone after an island.
Okay.
We're gonna what? That was weird. We're gonna pass. Oh wait, that should be untapped. Alright, rather it should be tapped. There we go.
Okay. So you got 3 mana up.
3 mana up, yes.
Untap. Draw.
Yes, sir.
You have 4 cards in hand.
4 cards.
Okay. I'm going to play Swamp.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to move to combat.
Yep.
I'm going to swing with both.
I take 3.
Okay, down to 16. And then I'm going to cast a Blasting Station.
Yes, that resolves.
Okay. I'll pass.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and crack the Mind Stone, I think.
Okay.
Draw a card. Okay. Alright, I'll move to my turn. Land for turn. Gonna tap out for Cloud Blazer.
Okay.
Draw 2 more. And I will pass. Now's your chance.
Untap. Draw. I will tap 3 and play a Judith.
Yep.
And I will move to combat and swing with both.
Yep. And let me think here. Still have 4 cards in hand. So that's a 2-1 and a 3-1, right?
Yeah, 2-1 and a 3-1.
Okay. And then obviously the other Judith ability. You got a good deck, man.
No one fought me for it.
All right. We'll give you the value of the scrap work. I will take 2.
Okay. So they're going to trade.
Yep.
It's going to cause a Judith trigger, and I'll target 1 at your face as well. So I think you take 3 total.
Sounds good to me.
This goes to the graveyard, or graveyard, not exile. And I will pass.
Okay. Okay. Control player sounds. Okay. I'm going to pay 1 blue, and I'm going to cast Consider.
Sounds good.
That's my library. Oh, fuck. That's the wrong thing. Hold on. I can turn off shuffle while closing. Okay, good. Whew. My apologies. That normally
No worries.
auto shuffles when you close it. So I was like,
Yeah. I mean, you haven't
Control
scryed at all,
W.
so.
Yeah. Okay. Control W. 1 card.
I
Okay.
just right click. There's
Yeah,
view top cards of the library.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to keep that on top.
Okay.
I'm going to draw a card off the
Okay.
Consider. And I'm going to play a Plains, And I'm going to cast Touch the Spirit Realm. Do you have any responses to Touch the Spirit Realm?
I do not.
It's going to enter. I am going to target the blasting station.
Okay, resolves.
All right. And then I am going to pass.
Untap. Draw. Hmm. Go to combat.
Sure.
Swing for 4.
Taken 4.
Okay. Um. I'm gonna tap 2 and cast a Mog War Marshal.
I'll take 1 to counterspell that.
Okay. And then I will play.
Oh man, the follow-up play too.
Is better. Yeah. I'm gonna play Unearth
Oh, that's a good one too.
and get Mog War Marshal back.
No. Counterspell. Oh, that's
And
brutal.
I will pass.
Okay. Move to my turn here. We'll cast Inspiring Overseer.
Okay.
Gain a life and draw a card. Propaganda.
Nice.
And I will end there.
Okay. Pass. Untap. My upkeep. Echo trigger. Not gonna pay Echo.
That's fair.
I'm gonna target Inspiring Overseer with a Judith trigger.
Okay.
And get another Goblin. And I'll put it down at the bottom so we know it's got Summoning Sickness.
That works.
I will draw a card. You got 1 mana up.
1 mana up.
Oh. Oh. I'm gonna pay 3. Play a Gut.
Okay.
And then I'll pass.
Okay. We're going to Path to Exile Judith.
Okay.
And
I
I'll move
will
to my
search my
turn.
library.
Yeah, after you search.
I'm gonna get a Swamp. It comes in tapped, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, moving to my turn. Untap draw. Cast a Preordain.
Resolves.
Gonna have 2 cards here. I mean, those are both pretty good, actually. Okay. I think we're going to keep those just as they are. Right there. Draw a card. I am going to Pay a life for this. And I'm going to cast Control Magic on Gut.
Okay.
I will move to combat and end my turn.
Let's untap. Draw. I will pay 4 and play a Murderous Redcap.
That's pretty good.
I'm gonna target Gut.
Yeah, I bet. Damn it, man.
It's gonna die.
Yeah. Oh. I think if you put that in your
How do I
grave, the
unattach
control
them?
magic will go away. Yeah, there we go. That's what I tried to do, and then that didn't work.
I'll pass.
Okay. Man. This is a slog, huh?
Yeah. Propaganda. So the weakness of this deck is enchantments and artifacts. I just have I either have no or very little way to interact with them.
For
So
most of my matches, Propaganda is the single most important card in my deck.
I can see that.
That's why I second picked it.
Touche.
It's a very good card. It's played better than Control Magic has, which, given the way that creatures are nowadays, I think actually just makes sense. Okay, I have to do some awkward stuff here.
All
I'm
for
not a fan
awkwardness.
of. Yeah, not a fan of all that awkward stuff that I'm being forced to do here, but nonetheless, we're going to play Faith's Fetters,
Okay.
targeting Murderous Redcap. And I recognize that's rife for ways that it could screw me over.
Sorry.
No, it's all
I
good.
moved it to your side. It should be on my side.
Yeah, here, you can take it back.
Yeah.
But I will attach
You gained 4.
that. I will gain the 4, which is very important. And then the other awkward thing that I have to do is I'm going to cast Reflector Mage on Goblin Token. So you better not try to cast Goblin Token on your turn.
I think I can avoid that.
I'm going to end the turn.
All right. Untap. Draw. Okay, play a land.
Okay.
Play Reanimate.
Yep.
Targeting Gut.
Here we go.
Lose 3.
Let me guess what you're going to target.
Yeah, right.
I knew. I was like, I could blink it and let him get value again. I could Faith's Fetters it. Ugh.
Interesting. I'm just trying to think how I want to do this.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna pay 2 so that Fairy Dream Thief can attack.
Sure.
I'm going to attack.
Mm-hmm.
Gut trigger. I'm gonna sacrifice the red cap.
Yep. This goes
Gonna
away.
come back in with a -1/-1 counter on it. I will use a yellow counter for that.
Sure.
So it's a 1/1. I will target you to do 1 damage.
Okay.
And then I will create a skeleton token that is tapped and attacking.
And because it comes in attacking, it doesn't trigger propaganda stuff, right?
I believe that is correct.
That's my vague understanding of it, so let's just go with it.
We'll be equally wrong together.
That's right. All right, well, I can't block any of that, so I'm going to take 5.
And then I'm going to play a Guildsworn Prowler and pass.
Goodness gracious.
I mean, I've got a lot of stuff, but propaganda is the limiting factor here.
I mean, that's true. Imagine how dead I'd be if there wasn't a propaganda on the field. I'm going to cast 12 Omens. Draw a
Solid.
card off of that. Yeah. Pass the turn.
Tap. Draw. Okay, I'm gonna pay 2 for the skeleton token,
Sure.
and I'm gonna pay 2 for the Guildhorn Prowler,
Yep.
and I'm gonna attack with both, and I'm gonna sack the Goblin token to get another skeleton.
Alrighty.
That is also tapped and attacking.
Forced to double block one of the 4 ones.
Okay, I will.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no worries. I'm just thinking out ordering. I will. I guess I'll kill the Reflector Mage. I don't know that it matters.
I don't know that it does either. I go down to
And
2.
going to die.
And yep.
And I will pass.
Alright, gonna need a serious Hail Mary here. Ooh, the hailiest of Marys. Another opportunity.
Irritar's Wrath.
No, a cycle. I will cycle it and try again. It's so sad that this is actually quite good, but I'm still dead.
I'll go.
So
I'm
let me just
actually
double
do it 'cause
check. I imagine I
blockers.
am still dead regardless. Yeah. We can go there. Because you can just attack with enough creatures. So, what I could do right now is I could cast Atraxi Ward. That's pretty good.
Okay.
That doesn't save me.
But you need 3 blockers.
Yeah. So instead, I'm going to totally get your ass. Get Psychic Spiraled.
What happens here again?
Boom. Whole grave of mine going back into my deck. I shuffle. That was 15 cards. You better mill 15, brother.
Let's see. Yeah. Is there a thing to move a certain number, or do I just have to drag them?
It's F2 left enter.
You know what? I F2 and I was like,
like
here.
what a
1,
peculiar.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
I appreciate the return to pettiness. All right. Well, GG game 1.
Game 2.
I'm gonna go ahead and put the top 15 cards of my library into my grave with F2 left enter. All right, what the hell can I do on this? Oh god. I went into this match knowing the sorts of lines that I have to take, like the things in your deck that I have to worry about, the different ways I need to answer things, and like the priority therein. And I pretty much did all the things that I was required, and it still was not enough.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's rough. The Psychic Spiral was in the opening hand, and I was like, well, it's basically a mull to 6, but then
That's
why would
pretty
I
much a
mull to
mulligan.
6? Like I can mulligan, sure, but the rest of the hand looks like a keepable mulligan, so like I guess I just keep it and it just sits here.
I'm in this weird situation where my question is like, do I make my deck like more resilient, or do I try to go under? And I think it's kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Yeah, I think that there are cards in either of our deck. So we both have an overarching strategy, sure.
Yeah.
But we also both have cards in our deck where if the opponent can't really answer them, you just kind of win the game. In your case, it's things like gut. In my case, in a way, it's things like propaganda. Obviously, I had propaganda and I still lost, but you also had Judith, gut, blasting station that I had to use a remove spell on, like all the reanimating. Like, you got a crazy deck.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's rough out here.
For a spoot.
It's rough out here for a spoot, man. Think this comes out
There.
for what? I'm not sure.
I made a small edit, but I'm not sure it really does that much.
That's fair.
Shake Shack, delicious.
Is there anything else that I care to cut here? This doesn't seem very good in this matchup, but at the same time, like it's still fine. I've got a lot of cards like that where I'm like, I mean, he has ways around this, but also every card has that problem. All right, yeah, we'll try this. I think this is my best option here. Apart, actually, you know what? No, this does come out. This comes in, and then same with this. Actually, we'll do this. I actually think that's more correct. Okay, I'm ready to start. All right, I will be on the play.
Shocking.
Oh yeah, this is a decent hand. We'll keep.
I'm gonna keep, but it's a little sketchy.
Ooh, this is how I win. All right, Island go.
Draw. Play a swamp and pass.
Consider this. All right, top one card. Sure. I will keep that on top and draw a card. And then I will move to my turn. We're going to go Plains, and we're going to go Talisman of Progress, and we will pass.
Okay. My turn. Untap. Draw. Play a Dragon Skull Summit untapped. Play a Scrapwork Mutt.
Yep.
Pitch a mountain. Draw a card. Pass.
Cool. Okay.
I'm not sure it's the best card in my deck, but I really do like Scrapwork Mutt. It just glues a lot of things together.
It's just like a solid B. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay, what is the best line here? I think
Do nothing. Die.
well, you know, you'd be surprised how close that is to what I'm considering here. Some things are really important. Let me just give me a second. I'm gonna think real quick about my various options here. This would be really good for both of us if I could explain to you my options, because it would at least be something you could listen to. Instead, you just have to wait
It's
in
okay.
silence. Mm-hmm. Um. All right. I'm gonna try something here. We're gonna go Wall of Omens.
Okay.
I'm gonna draw a card. I'm going to play an Escape Tunnel, and I am going to pass.
Okay. Untap. Draw. I'll play a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I will play a Fireblade Artist.
Oh, that's a pretty good one.
I'll move to combat.
Yeah.
I will swing with both.
Block the Fireblade Artist. Take 2.
Okay. And pass.
I'll crack the Escape Tunnel. Go get an island tapped. Pull up. Back to my turn. Okay. Similar situation, but different.
Could go on a really long tangent, but I'm not going to. Maybe after.
Teo.
What does that do again?
I have hexproof, and
You
I'm
have
going
hexproof,
to
and you
-2
can
and
create a
make it
wall.
O3.
Okay.
Okay. Land for turn, and I will pass.
Ah, Fireblade Artist targets. That's not good. Draw. But that will work. I will cast a Blood Artist.
I don't like that.
Also targets, by the way.
True, but like I still don't like it. I'm gonna pay 1 to counterspell that.
Okay. And then I will play an Order of Midnight.
Sure.
I will pass.
All right. -2 Teo.
Okay.
Make another wall. I'm playing mono white walls. Apparently.
Got those white walls?
Oh yeah.
Get
Anyway,
the rims?
here's whiter wall. Jesus. That could have been better.
I was writing up some of the reviews for the MDFCs, and I wrote about the white Reclamation Sage MDFC that I
Mhm.
really love and hate the pun. Which enchanter?
Disenchanter.
This enchanter.
All right, land for turn.
So bad.
Tap. I'm gonna cast Inspiring Overseer.
Okay.
Life. Draw a card. And I will pass.
Untap, upkeep. I'm not going to use the Fireblade Artist trigger because you have hexproof.
That's fair.
Okay, I'm going to cast Burst Lightning, targeting the Inspiring Overseer.
Okay. It dies.
I will move to combat. Swing with the Order of Midnight.
Me or Teo?
Oh, Teo.
All right. Teo is a dead.
His job. And then I will pay 3 and cast a Blasting Station.
Sure. And I'm realizing that I've made a horrible misplay, by the way. Which anyone watching this is probably screaming at me right now because I may have just thrown the game.
Well, unfortunately, I can't see your hand, so I don't know
No,
how badly you
that's
screwed up.
I'll show you. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, end of my turn.
Yeah, okay, I'll flash in Scuttling Sentinel.
Oh!
I'm just like, yep,
Yeah.
it happened. Just brain off the whole time. That would have been really good against that burst lightning, huh? Yeah.
And where are you going to put the counter?
Oh, on Wall of Omens, you know.
Oof, it's a big wall.
It's a crab
I remember
wall
when I
till
thought
the end
Wall
of
of Storage
turn.
was a fun card.
God damn it. Oh, I could have a 3/2 flyer and a
Sorry.
Teo right now.
I mean,
Okay.
I think I would have still attacked with the Order of Midnight,
I
so I
mean,
think you would have either had a Teo or a 3/2 flyer.
that's true. That's true. Now I have a 1/5 wall. That might be relevant against gut tokens or something.
Fair enough.
Okay, well, I can't complain too much about this. We're going to cast a Propaganda.
Okay.
And then I'm going to pay 1 life to cast Spectral Procession as well.
Okay. 3/1/1 flyers. Ooh.
Ooh, indeed. Combat.
Okay. I will block with my Scrapwork Mutt.
Sounds good.
No, that's not what I wanted to do.
They will trade.
You go
I'll
ahead.
end the turn.
Pass. Untap. Draw. Mm. Blood Crypt tapped.
Sure.
I'm gonna play Reassembling Skeleton.
Sure.
Blasting Station trigger. While that's on the stack, um, eh, one sec. Need to think about this for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, while that's on the stack, I'm gonna tap my Blasting Station and sacrifice the Reassembling Skeleton and deal you 1 damage.
Done.
And then it's gonna resolve. It's gonna untap,
Yep.
and then I will pass.
Okay. Untap, draw. I'll move to combat.
Okay.
We'll be attacking with my spirits.
I will not be blocking.
All right, 3 damage.
We'll take 3 down to 17.
Main phase 2, I'm going to start off by casting a Preordain.
Resolves.
This is going to the bottom. This, on the other hand, that's a really good question. Yeah, I'll keep that and draw it.
Yep.
Faith's Fetters attempting to target Blasting Station.
Resolves.
Okay. I will pass.
I got 4 life. And I will bring back Reassembling Skeleton tapped.
Sure.
Pass. Untap. Upkeep. I'm gonna sacrifice Reassembling Skeleton to Fireblade Artist.
Yep.
Deal you 2.
It begins.
Draw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Oh, that is annoying. I'm gonna play a Murderous Redcap,
Yes.
and I will deal you 2. And I will pass.
All right. Untap, draw, combat, 3 in the air.
Take 3, 14.
Second main, I will put out a Terramorphic Expanse and pass.
Okay. Untap, upkeep. I'm going to sacrifice the Murderous Redcap.
Yep. 3 to me
So
total,
it's
or...
3 to you total, yes.
Okay.
It's going to have a counter because it's a 1/1. And then I will draw a card. You have 1 card in hand.
1 card in hand.
I will pay
Oh
6
my.
and play a Troll of Khazad Doom.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, I'm like, I didn't realize you had a 6-drop in your deck.
You mean my land? Yeah, I've got a
Yeah,
land.
yeah. Land has a second
And
side to it.
I'll pass.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I mean, I guess I can technically do it on my turn too, but I wanted to sack the Terramorphic at the end of your turn, if that's cool.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
Just go for it. I don't care.
All right. And then, okay, so untap, keep, draw. Combat. 3 in the air.
Okay. Under 11.
Main phase 2. Cloud Goat.
Card.
All right, troll, come get me. We'll see if I have
Do I
3
wanna come get you now?
blockers. Yeah.
Yo, you got walls, man. You always got walls. Okay. Pass, untap. Upkeep. I'm gonna sack the murderous red cap until you won. 12.
Deal me 2, right?
Oh, sorry, 2. Yes, 11.
Okay.
Thank you. The card is a different number. Okay.
Surely you're tapping 2 lands so you can play your last land that's in your hand.
That obviously makes sense.
Yes.
I'm just thinking. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna pay 4 and have my troll and my Order of Midnight be able to attack.
Sure.
Actually, yeah, then you can do that. Up. Yep, I'll attack with both these.
Okay. Now I must think again. Why must you do this to me? All right. Blocks like this. So, looking at taking 2 right now.
Okay, and I will order it so I attack both the wall tokens.
Makes sense. Oh, or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. You take 2. You lose 2 wall tokens, and I lose the troll.
Do you lose the troll?
Oh, what? No, I don't lose the troll. What am I saying?
I mean, I would love
I just
nothing
assumed
more.
you would.
Love nothing more than for you to lose the troll, let's say.
Fair enough. I will pass.
Okay. Okay. Combat.
Okay.
Attacking as such.
No blocks. I take 5.
6, but yes.
Oh, 6. Yeah, sorry. 3 and 3. Yeah. That does not change my.
I
Like,
will.
the reason I didn't block the
pass the
2/2 on the 2 on the 2/2 was not 2/2. Pass.
Yep.
Untap. I'm gonna sacrifice the Order of Midnight
Okay. I'm
and
taking
deal
2.
2 to you. Yep. I draw. I think it's just too little too late, but it's close.
This is a very close
Play a
one.
mountain. Play a gut.
Yeah. That resolves.
A4, so both Troll and Fireblade Artist can attack. Attack with
Okay.
both. Sack the Blasting Station.
Oh my god, Gut, what is your problem?
Get a token.
Oh man.
I think I'm gonna be one short though. Well, we'll see. I think I'm gonna be one short.
Okay.
Or maybe not. Let me see.
Well, you're tapped out.
Yep.
No matter what. Well, so this can. I'm just going to think out loud for a second. This can block here.
Yeah.
Has to be blocked with something else. I can do this if I so choose, go to 1. There's currently nothing on the field that would kill me from that point. Swing back, deal 3. I can chump block, deal 4, put you at 1, but I am dead on the upkeep. So this has to block there. The only other change would be I could go here, block here. That puts me at 1. It's basically the same situation. I could chump here, put me to 3, kill nothing. And I'm just dead regardless. I need to kill you on my turn, I think. I need to look at my deck list. I don't know if I can kill you
I think
on
you need
my
a removal
turn.
spell.
I
I think you need to get rid of
you're
gut.
right. Yeah, I think you might be right. I'm just gonna take a look real quick at my deck list. Okay. That would work. That would not work. That can do it. That could do it. A lot of that would not do anything. That wouldn't help. Eee, I do not have a lot of win conditions in my deck off the top, man.
Come on, Island.
Yeah. What are you, my last few turns? Um, but I do think there's no way, right, that I block and I'm not just dead on the next turn based on what's on the field right now. I think that because I can't kill the troll, like, I mean, I could just not attack you, I guess. If I went, just hypothetically, if I was just like, boom, boom, I go to 3, I'm just still dead.
Troll's not dead though.
Yeah, I'm just still dead at that point. Okay, I think I have checked and I just need to get really lucky off the top. So I forget what my best block was. I think it was here, here, and then here, if I
Jump the
recall
artist.
correctly. Jump the artist. I guess, yeah, I guess. I don't think it makes a difference. I think
No,
I kill the artist regardless. Yeah.
I think trading with it actually makes sense because you need to win on the. Because
Yeah.
that way it avoids me getting to ping you, and
I
so
guess
that way
I
can
guess
win on
also
the removal
this
spell.
block, it gives me potentially one more turn. I
Yeah.
think. So yeah, okay. We will block like this. I'm gonna go to 1.
Yeah, and the skeleton will trade with one of the tokens and not the wall, obviously.
Okay.
So the artist dies and the skeleton dies.
All right. Okay. You ready?
And yep.
Untap draw. Mind Stone off the top for the slow roll.
Draw it again.
We'll try again. Crack the Mind Stone. Draw. Oh my god. Cycle irrigated farmland off the top. Draw.
Land.
Land for turn. And now I need to think about my combat because I did not draw a removal spell. Oh! I thought for a second I could just tap 3 white creatures, and I'm like, wait, we're dumb. You're just dead. Come on, Cloud Goat. These are Kithkin, right? Okay, so the only way that I'm not dead, regardless of what you top deck on board, I need to have 3 blockers. I need to have 4 blockers. Because you can just attack with the gut. You sacrificing Troll to that doesn't help you at all. So I think I still... Yeah, I'm just going to go to combat. We're going to attack with Cloud Goat. Okay. Raw Cloud Goat.
No blocks. Go to 2.
Yep. I need you to top deck as well as I just did. Go ahead. Come on, baby.
Untap.
Come on.
Draw.
Not like this.
Oh my god. It's not a good one. 1 sec. Oh, yeah. We missed something that was obvious now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh.
I'm gonna unearth.
Unearth?
Which I'd forgotten I had.
Yeah, that's really bad, huh?
Scrapwork Mutt.
Okay.
And it's gonna pitch Reanimate, which was not very good to draw.
Oh god.
I will draw a card.
Yep.
And then I will play Yahenni.
Yes.
Oh, that's a mistake.
Yeah, it was. Call it even with that.
No, it works out. I'm gonna deck with Troll. I'm gonna sack the Scrapwork Mutt, which is gonna get exiled because of Unearth, and I get the gut trigger.
Oh yeah, I'm just dead anyway.
Okay, I think that works.
No.
Gut saved me because gut is crazy.
All right.
I was like, "There's no problem." I was like, propaganda. Oh.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, my only out, a misplay. Curse you, gut.
Yeah, so you need 5 blockers.
Yeah, I'm dead. GG.
Super Menace.
Super Menace.
There's
the passive exile.
This went longer than I expected.
Propaganda. Excuse me.
Okay, well, Dream Thief was next, which actually would have been somewhat helpful, and then Judith would have come, which would have ended the game very quickly.
Yeah, the Scrapwork Mutt saved you. I was still dead anyway, though. Won't make it. Well, let's see. If you hadn't drawn, I block out.
I couldn't have reanimated anything because I didn't have any 1-mana creatures.
I guess actually, yeah, I would have one if you didn't have Scrapwork Mutt in.
I think you would have.
Yeah, because even if you attack with everything, I have at least 1 creature left over in Cloud Goat. That's crazy, dude. Oh
yeah,
man.
I will say the thing I've really enjoyed, even when I was losing to Gbrell, was I feel like a lot of these games have felt very knife edge. Where you're playing till the very end, and there's like you can tell when it's about to turn, but there's like a turn where you can say like, if I do this, I'm gonna win, and if I don't, I'm gonna lose. And I think that's really fun.
Yeah, I am curious how the game would have changed, if at all, if I play the Scuttling Sentinel correctly there. Because like you lose the burst lightning, I get to keep my flyer. You attack in. I presume you go for what's his face.
The weird thing is,
right?
I'm not sure that I was right to be pointing all that burn at your face
instead of at the flyers.
I could have been like killing the spirit tokens.
Yeah, I was a little surprised you weren't doing that as well.
Yeah, I think what I was thinking about was with the 3 walls, and I didn't have the troll at that point. I was like, I'm never fighting through that.
Yeah,
a lot of 2X's.
I guess, yeah. And so until you got the troll, attacking wasn't really a game plan.
Well, and you hadn't fettered the blasting station yet, and so I was like, I looked at the my original thought was with the red cap, I was like, that's 5 damage 2 1 and 2 1s, and I could
Yeah.
have used those to pick things. But so I was thinking, I was trying to figure if I could like burst it out, but
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know.
I think that you might have made the right choice, which sounds crazy because I was at like 20. You know what I mean? Like it's not like I was like, oh,
Yeah.
only 8 life left. Yeah, he's gonna burn me out. It was like, well, the game plan is you've got 20 life and I need to deal 20 direct.
Well, and I was also like, so I think this is a weird matchup because on the one hand, I don't want to overextend into Kirtar's Wrath, which maybe I don't know if you cut that, but I wouldn't have.
I did not. I just
Um,
never drew it for the life of me.
yeah. Well, and I was thinking of being like, and if I go long enough, I draw Forsaken Miner and I can go insane
Yeah, that was one of the
with
things I was
this
scared
blasting
about.
station and just like trigger, 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 trigger. So I was like, it's one of these. One of these is gonna work.
Yeah,
I think it worked out for you, but I do not know that countering the Blood Artist was the right choice.
it
I think
was
it ended up working
like
out.
it was basically a tempo play because I knew I had the spirits coming up. I think it was. I think I knew about that at the
Okay,
time.
yeah.
I know, like even when I did it, I'm just like, this could easily come back to bite me in the ass. But it was like, it's still a blood artist. Like the knowledge that you have, Gut, Judith, you name it, in your deck.
I think the gaining life would have ended up being particularly relevant.
Well, you say that, but
Although, interestingly, I actually wonder if you have hexproof, do I have to target myself or is it target opponent?
oh god, how does that work? Hold on, blood artist.
Target player. It's not optional.
So you just like,
It wouldn't matter because I would gain
yeah,
a
you
life
just
too.
you net neutral. That's
Just like
amazing.
up down, up down, up down.
Yeah, I think counting the blood
Well,
artist, I think that's going to be a controversial one. And like even when I did it, like I said, even when I did it, I was like, ugh, this feels gross. But I was also just kind of like, I I need to just keep disrupting him and then hope, that I can make something happen. And up until
okay,
you
so
getting gut, I mean that was working.
yeah, then gut just breaks things because gut breaks things.
Sure does. You
Like,
sacrificing the
and I
blasting station under the Faith's fetters is just so mean.
it does not need to have the artifact clause.
It
It
really
doesn't need to
doesn't.
have like whenever anything attacks.
Yeah, it's just like one too many plus sides. One
It's
too
also
many
funny
knobs
because
turned.
like I know that some of these cards were built for multiplayer, and so they weren't because this was from like the D&D, but the Baldur's Gate multiplayer set.
Mhm.
Like I have to imagine that gut is actually kind of busted in Commander too.
That I
You
don't
just get a lot of
know.
4/1 menaces. I mean, probably not because aggro just isn't, but like
I
I'm
think
just like
that's the
you get
thing,
so many
right?
4/1.
Like a 4-1 just doesn't matter when you've got 120 life you have to get, you know? Like
Yeah, that's probably true.
yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah, you can just
Commander.
play good aggro decks
I,
instead of gut.
I was gonna say, so I said I have this mutate deck, which is by far my favorite Commander deck.
Mhm.
And what I realized about Commander is like I don't love the variants. I build decks that I try to be like very consistent, which is hard in a singleton format, but it's like kind of defeating the purpose. Because the mutate
Yeah.
deck is fun because I've got like 32 mutate cards in there. So the variance is just which mutate cards do I draw?
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Like oh, here's a fun combination. I've never put these ones together before.
Let's see what we'll make this time.
Exactly. What Shin Godzilla monstrosity am I going to put on the board this today?
I think
Oh,
with
good games.
that, yeah, I think with that loss, I don't think I've got a shot. Even if I win my last two, I think I probably just lose to fake tiebreakers. Couldn't even get one game
It'll
off
be
you, man.
interesting. Do we know what the because I would guess. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to go undefeated. Obviously, Eric and Fizzled still have a shot at that one.
So does Cavs.
Oh yeah, Cavs does too. You're right. Yeah. Uh, I would guess 6-2 is probably going to be the winning record.
I think well, there's only 7 matches. So 5-2.
Oh, yeah, 5-2. A 6-1 seems possible. I think a 7-0 just requires a lot of things to go right. That probably, that's too many matches to not have variance.
Probably, yeah. And honestly, the people that I could have seen going that 6-1,
We both have losses.
Yeah, it's like I think it ultimately at the beginning I would have been like you and Lou were probably the ones that I would say 6-1, but you both already have
I
one
am surprised that
loss.
Cavs went 2-0 over Lou.
That is wild to me. Like I was saying to him earlier today or maybe yesterday, I'm like I still haven't seen the match because I haven't gotten the file from Lou, and I'm just like I
I'm gonna
need to see
disconnect from the
this
game.
match. This is
I
the
don't think it
single
matters, but
weirdest like like
I
it's
mean, I I you could tell me there's just like because Lou's deck is aggressive, but it's not like curve out 1, 2, 3, 4 aggressive.
all I know is I think I
And
heard
I
earlier today something about Cavs saying, "Yeah, I Gontied your Rhythm of the Wilds and blah blah blah." And I'm just like, what happened in that match?
that doesn't seem like it'd be that good.
And apparently, I think it was Rhythm of the Wilds that he said. Apparently, it was just like nuts. I don't know. Yeah,
Okay.
there's some weird stuff
Um,
going on.
you know, here's what Gruul needs. The card that I want Gruul to have is give me a 3 mana 2/1 that gives every other creature that comes into play Riot.
3 mana, so basically a Rhythm of the Wilds on a stick.
Rhythm of the Wild, but a creature, which would be you could remove it. I think it wouldn't be overpowered, but at least would like. I feel like when you play that Gruul deck and you either have the Elf version where you try to go 1/3, or you
Hmm.
just are playing Rhythm kind of naturally on turn 3, it just feels so bad to play an enchantment that doesn't have power enough.
That's fair. Would you keep the can't be countered clause?
Probably not. I know like it has value, but I think that's not the reason you play that card.
I think
Like
you're
I
correct
guess what
in
I'm saying is
saying that.
like Grumgully exists.
Hmm.
And I feel like if Grumgully gave Riot instead of +1/+1 and you just made it a worse creature, it would still be playable.
Yeah, I cut Grumgully in my latest potential update. Mostly because I
I
just
think it's a
don't want
fine card.
2 copies of that effect taking up 2 slots.
Yeah. I I I need to do like a more holistic overview because I think I put Grumgully in because it works with the persist stuff, but I
Same.
feel like I've now cut like half of the persist stuff
I had, and you know
and
what?
the other stuff that
The persist thing. I was telling one of my coworkers earlier. I was like, the persist thing is still there, but we're pulling back on persist. We're pulling back on persist. We're pulling back on hard ramp. We're pulling back on hard reanimate. We're gonna bring it a little bit closer to the middle because otherwise, I'm just devoting way too many slots to these decks that like they can go off. Okay, and what did you do? I went 1 and 2. Like it's
uh,
it's
yeah, I feel like the problem with like reanimate is that it's either going to be the best deck in it or it's not going to be that good. It's
and
really hard to not
And I
overcorrect
don't
one way or
even
the
think
other.
it's the first one. I literally had a game earlier today where on turn 2 a guy cycled Riverwinder and reanimated it on turn 2. And
Okay.
I was playing like this Boros tokeny equipment deck, and I all I had done on turn 2 was my first play, which was just 2/1/1s with haste. Right? And
Good job, good
I
job, Hornberg.
yeah, yep, I won the game, and I didn't even do anything all that nuts. I just kind of like kept making like a dude or two and attacking, and he didn't attack a single time with the Riverwinder because he's just like, well, I can't really attack. And then like I got him to 2, and he's like, all right, and I'm like, anyway, here's escape tunnel, and he's like, well, shit.
Uh, uh, uh. The one card I actually think like they need if we get a couple more of these, I think it really makes ramp work is the armadillo from
I
Leathern
have a
Ocean.
copy in physical in foil right in my hand right now.
The Ward 3 is such a great addition. It's very annoying if you're playing against it, but it's the kind of annoying where you're like, in 2 turns I can kill this.
Right, I
I
just need to
can't right
survive 2 more attacks.
as opposed to Hexproof where it's just like I can never touch this.
Right. But at the same time, though, they didn't give it trample, so it's like they're like, I just need to survive 2 more turns, and then they just do. You know what I mean? And you're like,
The
well,
well, and like getting the 3 life though when you cycle it is like doesn't seem like it's a lot, but it's like it really does help. Kind of, just get that little extra, a little more.
I'm a big fan of Game 3
It's a good
life.
card. Yeah.
Anytime I see it,
Out.
it makes me happy.
Putting aside your obvious proclivities.
I'm a big fan of Game 3. I'm curious to see how, kind of going in an opposite direction, the new Eldrazi, the 8 mana one, affects things. Because obviously I'm pulling back a little bit. But it'll still come up,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And when it
I
does, that's
I
a lot
really think the
closer.
so I think I've written my review for that one, or at least I wrote the first draft of it, and what I said was I have no problem with it in ramp because I
Mhm.
think the 4 toughness, once you know have a mature board state, just means like you're not going to get a free attack. So
Sure.
yeah, like I'll lose 2 lands, you'll probably kill at least 2 creatures, but like it's not crazy. I think that card is going to be potentially like if you can discard it and reanimate it. That's I mean, I guess it's not really any different than Ulamog's Crusher,
Well, that's the thing, right?
which
It's Ulamog's Crusher, but
yeah.
like a lot more interesting.
Well, and then I remember, well, except the difference is the whole like the hexproof thing, which is
Mhm.
like functionally hexproof. Um, because I feel like if you could remove it, I would have a lot less of an issue. But the Ulamog's Crusher, you know, still vulnerable. It's a Doomblade,
Yeah. I definitely I
which
it's so interesting because like I totally understand from a game design perspective what you and many others have said about, these high variance plays where you end up with a creature that the opponent's just like, well, I can't do anything about that. So I guess I just lose. And that sounds like it's such a feel bad, but at the same time I think about the reanimator player who's like, I did it. I reanimated on turn 2 or turn 3 and then they just get, you know, infernal grasped. And it's just like, oh, well,
you know,
yeah.
and I do think there is an aspect to it, which is like, you know, which side of it are you on?
Right.
Because I have to imagine that like the person who reanimates the 8/4 hexproof annihilator too is like, this is the greatest moment of my life.
Right, where it's the guy who casts
uh,
the infernal grasp on it is probably just like, hey man, I'm sorry about that. You were here to
yeah,
do one
sorry.
thing and I ruined it, right? And that's why I think I land on the opposite of like, no, I if it was a like if I could play a 9-10 mana creature, a single one, it doesn't have to take up more than one slot in the cube. If I could play a single one that it was like, when this enters the battlefield, you fucking win the game. There's no questions asked. You just win the game. I would probably play it.
Yeah, nine
Because
or not, that's a lot of freaking mana.
yeah, guess what? You have to really want it.
Well, you know, the other thing I will say is I don't think you want a cube that is just full of nothing but inspiring overseers.
Exactly.
It's like that would just be a game, a slog and a half of a game where you're
Yeah.
just like, okay, who draws more of their 2-for-1s and gets more 2/1 flyers? Like,
That's what I felt like playing against Cavs. It was a 2-hour match where we were
yeah,
both just like, I play another 1/1 that draws me cards. I play a 1/1 that kills your 1/1. All right. I play a 1/1 that gives me 4 life. All right. And it's just like by the end of our 2-hour match, it was super close and I lost, but I was just like, I'm tired. I want to do something else now.
so did you put Rosie in
Yeah,
the last
Rosie's in.
update? I
Yep.
didn't see it. Rosie's in.
Oh,
Okay.
Rosie's been in for a
Are you
while.
gonna put the infinite combo in with the new green card?
I don't plan on it. I ran Rosie
Okay.
plus Scurryoak for a while, and granted, I was hardly ever playing, but I just cut Scurryoak like during the audit, I think it was, and I was basically
Yeah.
like, Rosie's fine. Rosie's a fine card to build around, whatever. The whole infinite combo thing, like, I don't know. I guess you could make the argument that it's kind of similar, where it's like, Scurryoak is the, 10 mana you win the game card effectively in this analogy. Um,
Yeah. Well,
so
I
I don't
guess
know.
what I'm wondering is you know, as so many of the cards move towards being 2-for-1s or move towards having ETBs that affect the battle, you know, that like gain value.
Hmm.
If you think about like commander games, I view like kind of automatic win buttons in commander as kind of a necessary evil because
Yeah,
they prevent like the 6-hour game where you just sit there and like no one can attack because everyone's got everything, and you need some combination of cards that when you eventually draw them, just the game ends.
I agree.
And I think in Peasant, there's a weird thing where like there are a couple of them, but oftentimes like we talk about them as if they need to be the game plan of the deck, and I'd like to see a couple more where they kind of just incidentally happen
Can
so that you
you give
have.
like a rough example of what you mean?
So I'm gonna bring up the combo that. Okay, so it's a Rosie combo, and I'm pretty sure it works.
Hmm.
Um, does does Rosie go infinite with Herd Baloth?
I think it does. Yeah, I think that was another one that I used to play for that combo.
Yeah. Which I feel like if you have to play a 5-mana card and then Rosie, or Rosie a 5-mana card and then get a counter somehow, those all feel like that's more hoops. It's not just like a turn 3, I win.
Hmm.
But and so like, but if you're in a counters, like, does a counters deck really want Rosie? Maybe. Like, I want there to be enough overlap where you're willing to pick a card that's going to be like at least a C plus in your deck. But if it just happens to draw the right 3 cards in order, they auto win. Like, that's where I want it to be, as opposed to like trying to contort a deck to get those 2 or 3 cards in, because we still don't have good enough tutors. And like, you don't want to build a persist deck that's just trying to get the persist combo. I think it doesn't function half the time.
I think that's
You don't want
why
that.
I like the persist combo. Is that in many situations you just are building a deck and then you see a piece and you're like, okay, that I would have to splash a third color for that card. But if I splash a third color for that card, I could win by infinite combo accidentally in some games. And I think that's really
That's
cool
the
about
other
it.
annoying thing about the persist combo is it doesn't have good color coverage
Yeah,
in that
it's
like
just like it's like a four.
it
It's
usually
all the
needs 3.
non-blue colors, and yeah, it's like which is why I added blasting station to help with that a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's super
Which,
awkward.
hey, I'm happy to have my. It didn't really go off, but I do love having a card that's just like your removal is not going to do as much as you think it's going to.
I had to remove the blasting station, and then it still didn't matter because you still gutted it.
Yeah.
I loved in game
All right.
one when I was like, yeah, sorry, last thing before you go. I
No,
loved in
no
game
worries.
one when I'm staring down Judith and I go, I'll remove the blasting station.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh yeah, because if you remove the Judith, I'm just going to sacrifice it.
Yes, and well then, and not only that, I'm like, well, I don't have to target the Judith, but I'm like, I have to. Gut's gonna come out eventually. I can handle Judith right this second. I need to make sure I've got plans for the future here. Otherwise, half my cards are just dead. Control Magic's dead. Like everything's just dead.
I had not put Judith in my cube. I think it's getting added, and I'm going to finally cut Fire Covenant,
Yeah, Judith is really good.
which
I've been surprised
I
how not insane Judith has been. Gut's much stronger.
I think she's just good.
Yeah, she's
And I think
just
the
good.
main part is that um I feel like more often than not. Also, the weird thing with Judith is I think she would be insane if she didn't have the non-token rider on her trigger.
Sure.
Because the decks that would get like the most triggers are these go wide token decks. And so like you need to really pick, am I a token deck? In which case Judith is good but not great. She's just an anthem.
Mm-hmm.
Or am I like a different kind of deck trying to use both halves of the all parts of the buffalo or whatever?
I think most of the time your average deck does do that though. I think you may go into it like, "Ooh, I'm going to play a Rakdos token deck," and then you build the deck and you're like, "I've got 4
Couple.
cards that make tokens and a lot that don't, and I'm still going to play Judith." You know, like or the
Did
other way
you did
around.
you cut Hordling Outburst?
Yes, that is no
I don't
longer
think
in
I
the
saw it.
cube. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it. It's a card I think I was looking for and would have probably taken,
Yeah, I
but
don't.
I'm not sure
I
if it.
think that currently that slot is being filled by "You See a Pair of Goblins." I think that's what eventually
Yeah.
cut Hordling Outburst for, simply because obviously it's like it's that sort of do we want the flexibility or do we want the all in? And I think I
So
went for the flexibility.
I think you've probably done the same thing I've done, where like I had this idea about. I was like, oh, okay, I'll make a red white tokens deck, and then I'll have a black red aristocrats deck, and they'll like have overlap. I feel like they kind of don't for some reason. Like
Uh,
the
oh
black white token deck kind of works, but like
yeah, I ended up a while ago where I did do that. Yes, I was like, actually, it might have been the opposite. I forget exactly what you just said now. I was trying to do black white tokens and red black
okay,
aristocrats. And what ended up
yeah.
happening was they just all kind of melded together, which seems great, except I didn't want, 3/5 of my cube to become the same deck over and over and over again. And that was around the time that I started really cutting back on the strength of the Aristocrats token deck, because it was just every every draft was like, oh, I'm gonna play this deck again, and then they would just win, and I'm just like, ah, you have to stop.
Yeah. I, I really wish there was a way to give white red an identity. It's not just play mono white or mono red with
Yeah,
like a tiny little bit of the other one for like heroic reinforcements.
I like the equipment stuff. I think that works really well to
Yeah.
start to give it an identity. It does have that awkwardness where you're like, okay, but we need some good equipments. And we have some, but then there's that like really weird balance where it's like, well, I don't want to have too many good equipment in the cube because the entire cube then becomes around everyone having equipment. And that's not what we're trying to do here. So they have to be weak enough that they're not, grafted war gear, but they have to be strong enough that the red white player wants to play them. And then they can't all just be equipments because then you just have a deck full of equipment. It's super complicated to balance everything.
I think there are a couple, at least one card in the new set that I think. Are you adding the 1/1 flyer one?
Mandibular kite?
Mandibular kite. Yeah, there we are.
It's not
I believe that's
on
right.
my list of changes, but maybe that's an oversight. I
So
I didn't even
pretty
consider it,
I was
but
pretty low
yeah.
on it, and then I saw someone say, "Isn't this just Griff's boon?"
Okay, let me look this up real quick. Mandibular kite. So yeah, it's 1/1 flyer for one. And then so it's Griff's boon in that you can keep rebuying it for 4 mana.
Exactly. Now, it doesn't work if it gets destroyed or if it gets milled, but like white decks, for all that I wish a white deck had a graveyard theme, does not exist.
Super interesting. Wait, what's in my cube right now? Because it's like I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just cut blank, and then I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I cut Ancestral Blade already. I need a different cut if I were to make the cut. Great Sword of Tyr is
What?
really good. That's not getting cut.
Oh, Great Sword of Tyr is fantastic. That
Yeah,
I wish they would print more equipment at that level. That's like the one where
yeah,
you're like, oh my
that one's
god, we've
nuts.
actually got.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
Honestly, weirdly enough, maybe Intangible Virtue.
I see what you're saying. I might cut Fairy Guide Mother if it's still in your queue.
It
I'm looking at something on
is.
Q Roach. I'm not sure it's yours or not. If it's the most recent one.
I have a like unlisted clone of my cube that's
Okay.
very different. That is currently like all of my current updates, but I do have Fairy Seer still in there.
Guide Mother or Seer?
A Guide Mother, I'm sorry. I mean both, but
Yeah. I I would so I like Guide Mother because I love Adventure because I think it's a great mechanic. But
hmm
I feel like unless you want to add another 1/1 flyer, I feel like that's kind of what I would. And I think Ruin Lurker Bat is doing something very specific for you. So
Ironically, I've already cut Ruin Lurker.
fair enough.
I cut that late. So I cut all the life
Are you
gain
going double
stuff, and
Inspector?
then I'm sorry.
Are you going double Inspector?
I'm not, but it's not
Huh.
because I don't like it. It's just because I haven't been persuaded yet. I think
I'm
I did add
I have not, and I'm not planning
cranial
to.
plating.
So
The cranial plating
ooh.
makes something like Double Inspector a little bit more fancy. It also means adding Mandibular Kite at all is more fancy as well, and maybe that's even more reason. I know it's a completely different card, but maybe that's even more reason to cut Intangible Virtue because it's like the token, and this is something I'm noticing. You can like pack one, pick one Intangible Virtue, and you can build a token deck, and you're still like, do I care about Intangible Virtue?
So I before Eric swiped it, I was really thinking about taking Intangible Virtue and trying to do a white-red gut,
I
which would
mean,
be
that would be
interesting.
nuts. That would be really, really good. But it's because of gut, though. Let's be honest.
It's because of gut, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, did you see the new black Arcbound creature? Condor?
Yes. There's the
I
condor. You remember its name by chance? Maybe if I
Arcbound
just.
something?
Oh, is it just Arc? It's
It's
literally just Arcbound
I think
Condor.
it's just Arcbound.
So 3/3
I think
flyer
maybe
for
it's Arcbound.
4. Oh, that's better than I remembered it being. I think that was one of those
The
cards that
one
I saw what it was trying to do, and I'm like, that's for Lou, not me.
what was the one oh there was one where I was like, is it an affinity card?
There's like an affinity
Oh, okay.
Terramander.
There is that. There's also there's a 2/1 flyer that ETBs forces a discard. It's 4 mana and has affinity. It's so 3 of black and has affinity for artifacts.
Let's see.
And it's
Is
called
that it?
Refurbished
Yeah, I
Familiar.
just found it.
I'm looking at it. It's not. I don't have
Yeah.
perfect thesaurus here. And my only thought was, I was like, Blood Fountain into that feels very fun to me.
What is Blood Fountain?
A 1 mana artifact that gives you a blood token, and you can sack it for 4 or 5 mana and get back 2 creatures, I think.
Okay. So yeah, you go turn
It
1 that
it
into
it,
turn
it
2
has
this.
seen legacy and possibly even vintage play because it creates 2 artifacts for 1 mana.
I mean, sometimes that's all you need with some utility
They don't
attached,
care what the
obviously.
artifacts are.
Yeah. 1 mana, gain 2 mana, you got it.
And
It's Soul Ring.
the Tolarian Academy is a hell of a drug.
It's I'm gonna definitely have to quote you on that. It is crazy. You're right. It's crazy that Blood Fountain is Soul Ring but better.
Exactly what I said. It's not
it's
possible that I said any other words.
it's crazy because it's like you're right. It's exactly what you said. It's Soul Ring, but for every one of your affinity creatures on that turn. So it's like better Soul Ring.
I like that they printed a new Mirror Enforcer that's like
Oh, the Frog Mirror.
just Mirror Enforcer.
Yeah, it's just Mirror Enforcer.
Like,
I saw that. I'm like,
I
that's
was like,
cute. Anyway, I still don't want to play that.
I was also just like, is being able to play it for 1 red for as a 2/2 a good thing? I thought the whole point of
Yeah,
that card was to get it down to like 0.
exactly. Mirror Enforcer with distractions.
Oh, they should have made the Frog Mirror part, like the frog whatever side of it, be 3 Phyrexian red. That would have made sense.
I think it just would have been funnier if they just made it what it was trying to be, which is Frogmite and Mirror Enforcer. Just go all in. Just let it be
Yeah,
free on both halves. Why not? I
like
don't think anybody's gonna
free
break it.
2/2s have not been like breaking the world.
Not lately.
Was the so do you ever watch any of like other like Magic streamer stuff?
I don't right now, but
I definitely go in waves.
yeah.
Occasionally I will watch Aspiring Spike who does like modern brewing.
I think my coworker
And I
was
like
saying that
can't
he
sit
watches
through
him.
a I can't watch like a whole league or whatever. It's too long.
Right.
But I feel like it's interesting as someone like he's very clearly like a brewer. He wants to like make it, but he has like deck ideas, but he's also not like off the wall. He's like, I want to make this good.
Sure, yeah.
And so he did like a tier list for Modern Horizons 3, being like, here are the cards I think are gonna like break modern, here are the ones that are very, very good. And one of his like top ones is the 2 mana like Cascade Rap Energy Cascade Raptor.
Oh
Like a 2 mana
god,
2/1 first
yeah.
strike that gives you 2 energy.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I don't love that card. And I was trying, and I'm just like, oh wait, in modern you can actually play a deck that's nothing but 1 and 2 drops.
Yeah.
It has like Ragavan and Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, 4
I'm like,
Ragavan,
oh,
4
that would be
Swift
good.
Spear, 4 burgers, 4 fries, 4 bolts,
Or
4 yeah.
you can also hit itself. So you can
Yep.
go Raptor into something and it casts it. So it gets in again.
You should just also play 4 Burning Tree Emissaries in that deck while you're at it, and throw 4 of
Just
those
all
in
free
there.
spells.
Yep.
All free spells
Just
all the
just
time.
mono red. And like the Swift Spears aren't even doing anything. Like you never get prowess.
Well, it's also crazy to me that like we like in like a set and a half they've gone from we will never print a red 2/2 haste for one in a red to like we have like 4 of them now. Like, okay, I guess we all agreed this was fine.
I don't
Also,
know if we
how do
all
we not
agreed it
have
was fine.
how have they never printed just 3 mana, 2 and a blue, 2/2 draw a card? The card doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean there's Serum Visionary.
Yeah, that's true, which is
It's
better.
like 2/3 of draw a card.
No, it draws a card and then gives you more in
Oh,
addition.
that's right. Sorry. Yeah. No, that card's just good. Never mind.
Yeah,
That's right. So you're saying just
but,
like the like an average like
like, so, you know, I've clearly given up the ghost of having my cube be simple and easy to understand, but I feel like there's always that dream of, like, I want a cube of, like, simple cards. So, there's a card, it's like it's murder. It's 1 black, destroy target creature, and then it's like you gain 1 life for every color the creature is.
yeah.
And I'm like, this is
So
strictly better murder. I play murder. I'm not replacing murder. Because like
it's
gaining 1 life.
it's a strictly better
Like,
hero's downfall.
no, yeah, fair enough. Which in my cube with no planeswalkers is exactly the same. Murder.
You know, that's something that actually frustrates me a little bit is there aren't enough good enough planeswalkers to play, and yet all of my removal spells at this point are just like, yeah, creature or planeswalker, and it's like, stop, non-target killed. I
Yeah.
don't need you
You
to
know,
target Teo. You
I
know what I mean? I don't
it,
need you to
it
target
works
whatever.
that the design as a design perspective, they're moving back away from planeswalkers. Like they want to have fewer of them
Yeah.
because like we got what 21 uncommon planeswalkers total, and I'm like, could have gotten me a couple more. I
Well,
wouldn't have
especially
been
because so
unhappy.
many of them are unplayable.
Yeah, but and I do think that so it's weird because uncommon planeswalkers, frankly, have like a pretty natural cap on how broken they can be.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do the only down tick thing, you don't have to do the whole static abilities. Like just make it 2 down tick abilities. No way to go up. And I feel like there is design space there that is not that complicated.
And they're so
Uh,
cool because it's so hard to get them like okay, because they're only down tick, but proliferate exists. That's super cool to me. That it's like, you know what, if you want to
yeah,
go really hard, you could, especially with like that new metastatic evangel, where it's like it's a 3/1,
yeah.
but you can just have it sit there and just play creatures. And now, I get another wall off my Teo. I get another 2/2 wizard off of my Casmina, right? And it's just like, ooh, that's a little
Whenever you
spicy.
cast a creature, whenever one enters the battlefield.
I think it's cast metastatic.
Like, is this go infinite with Herd Baloth or Scurry Oak?
Well, it's non-token, I believe, or it's either
Okay,
cast or it's
that
non-token, I believe.
okay, good. um,
Yeah, it's
one
it's
last thought,
ETB but
and
non-token.
this I'm interested in your thought on this.
Yeah.
So a lot of the new Eldrazi, n- I think not a lot of them are that good, but have colorless mana,
Mm-hmm.
not generic, but like this explicitly the diamond.
Yeah.
And I am wondering, I look at my cube and I don't think it's that easy to generate colorless mana.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is, the lands you pick, I think matter a lot. But like even if you pick, say, 2 cycles, say you're running all the pain lands and you're gonna run the new landscapes and throw in an Ash Barrens in there or so there's a couple more, like at best you're gonna end up with like 3 of those, maybe 4.
Okay.
And so like I'm like 3 sources is like, the bare minimum to splash something.
Are you looking for
Whereas,
my
if you're
opinion
looking
on
at like,
this?
I'm just wondering, like, we were talking about the new Ulamog's Crusher,
Uh huh.
which I think is 6 colorless, right?
That is correct. Yep.
Are ramp decks actually able to hit that
Okay.
outside of like Hedron Archive?
So, crack my fingers here. I might have been cooking a little hard
Oh God.
because I really, really want it to work. That has been my life's goal since this set started coming out, and I saw Breaker of Creation and Eldrazi Ravager. Because I think I'm not suggesting I've nailed it yet. I would say that that's like a 0% chance because I haven't gotten to even see what my cube looks like fully because the set's not out yet, so I can't even play test it fully. But I think there is a way to make it work without it being obnoxious.
Okay.
I think that you've got talismans, you've got other
Yep.
mana rocks like Mind Stone. You can go for like the Worn Power Stone, Hedron Archive, Thran Dynamo, that level of stuff. And I think in some cubes that makes sense. In mine, I've already cut all those, and I'm trying not to bring back in too many things that I've cut because I did cut them for a reason. Um, but all of those exist. You've got Pain Lands, you've got Filter Lands. You don't have to play all of them. You play them in the color pairs that would want to cast those creatures, right? So green blue, green red, green white. Those are the three color pairs that I consider wanting to cast those creatures. So you've got all of that. You can go a little bit harder. For a little bit, I was testing with Boreal Druid in. I think that's that like quintessential one step too far. I ended up taking that back out again. The common, the new common like tri lands, the fact that they
Yeah.
tap for colorless as well as doing all of the other stuff was a huge boon because I just added all 10 and it's like, great. There are potentially 10 more sources for you to get your colorless. At least, 3 to 6 depending on what your actual color combination is. And in theory, they're not going to affect your draft too poorly. In addition, if that were all there was, I would still be skeptical. However, in addition, spawns and scions exist as well. They can happen naturally. You can put in things like Kozilek's Predator, Eldrazi Sky Spawner, Nest Invader, all those kinds of things allow you to kind of play just generically good cards and also get that, kind of split between tokens and ramp that Eldrazi Scions and Spawns always have given. And then to cap it off, they gave us a couple more of those. And I wouldn't say most importantly, but certainly most exciting for me is Kozilek's Unsealing. I think Kozilek's
Yeah.
Unsealing is so cool to me, and it's specifically because it doesn't say you should play ramp. It says you should play mid range, in my opinion. The drawing,
My only thought there is
yeah,
the line of 1 mana Dork, Kozilek's Unsealing, 4 mana mid range card, 7 mana draw
yeah.
3 cards. It's pretty sweet. Like you're like, I see how this works.
And you can do that. Like that's totally possible. There's still Palaka Worm. There's still that 8 mana guy. I only have Palaka Worm in green as my 7 drops right now. I'm still going
Yeah,
back and
like
forth
the
on
Armadillo is a 6 drop, but like I guess it needs to be 7 for Unsealing, doesn't it?
to get the draw 3. Yeah.
So I think let's see what other ones am I running that are.
The only one that I'm currently even considering bringing back in is Hedron.
Is it
No,
7 mana spell or
creature.
creature?
Got to be
Okay.
creature spell.
So Beanstalk Giant,
Yes,
which doesn't
though.
really benefit from being ramped out.
What is? I'm sorry.
Um,
What is the 7/6 trample hexproof? That's the only guy that I've been considering bringing back in. Hedron
Plated
Crusher.
Crusher
Plated
or
Crusher. Plated Crusher. That's it. Yeah.
I thought it was is it 7/6 or is it? I thought it was 8/8 for some reason. I don't know.
Nah, it's a
Something big.
7/6.
And then you could also run, and I guess Scaled Behemoth is 6 mana, I think.
That's the alligator.
It's the big alligator, yeah.
Yeah. Nope, that's 6 mana.
Uh,
There is, you could
yeah.
always just play. It depends on what your other color is, right? Because there's still Waker of Waves, Striped River Winder, more if you so
Mm.
choose. Um, you could still play Skyline Despot in that deck if you're going green red. So there's like other things that
I
potentially you could do. I guess you would
I'll
have
be
to
honest,
teamer.
I still have Crows and Tusker.
That's fine. Honestly, that gives you an additional reason to have Crows and Tusker, or
Yeah.
Beanstalk Giant. Um, but I think
I
this says a
I like
lot,
Crows and
right?
Tusker much more than Beanstalk Giant.
That's totally fair. I don't really like Beanstalk Giant that much, and I've cut it. I've
Well,
cut both, but
I was asking about the creature because if it's not I was like Roar of the Worm is a card that I continue to have that I'm not sure
you
is good
just
anymore, but I do
yeah,
love
you
it.
get that 6/6. What's so cool to me about Kozilek's Unsealing is that it isn't just a ramp card. If you're playing blue green, you've got your Farseek, you've got your Nature's Lore, and you're just looking to go like 2 drops into 4 drops, or like 3s and 4s and 5s, which is kind of like what I'm trying to promote right now in my green section. You can still play that, and
Yeah.
it's not bad. Like, it's not like you're like, oh yeah, I'm getting value, but it's only for ramp. No, you're getting blockers. Like, you're getting things that can help you keep attacking and stay defensive against the aggro decks or whatever, without it just always having to be lifelink. Um, or maybe you're getting enough tokens that you can cast your harmonize and actually cast another spell in that turn, right? You're getting all kinds of cool stuff like that. And then
Yeah.
you do also have the capacity to go,
We're,
oh, wait a minute, I've got the colorless I need to play Eldrazi Ravager.
have you thought about adding in up the Beanstalk?
In the past, um, I think the Up the Beanstalk's weird, right? Because it's so good and constructed because you have 4 of them.
Yeah.
I think that's
I mean,
always the problem with those effects.
I feel like if you want to have a blue-green theme of like play bigger things, and I think with Kozilek's Unsealing, obviously you look at the draw 3, and so you think it's play 7s, but I think you're right that like it's actually play 4s, 4 pluses, and then like use all those creatures to like ramp out more stuff. And that doesn't have to
Mm-hmm.
be a big drop; it could just be 2 4 drops. Um, and I feel like Up the Beanstalk like feels like it's similar-ish,
So the
but
Beanstalk is mana 5 or more.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it also triggers when you ETBs, so it's not
Yes. Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
Unsealing. It's not just do nothing if you hit the wrong cards.
So there's that, and I'm not going to say this next one is better. It's just different, and that is Garrick's 3 mana enchantment. I forget the name of it,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
and I think that one's
Yeah,
power 4 or greater, with the caveat that it costs 1 more mana and it doesn't do anything when it enters. I think.
I mean, if that's truly where you can also play the uncommon Kiora.
I do get to play that. That does exist in my cube again. I had taken it out and now it's
Yeah,
back because of that. Um, Garrick's Uprising. So, well, actually, it does have an enter the battlefield effect. You will draw a card if you already control a creature with power 4 or greater, and it gives your creatures trample.
yeah.
So,
Eh,
I mean, I've considered bringing that back in, and for whatever reason, I like it more than Up the Beanstalk. Even
Well,
if,
I guess maybe what it sounds like you might be kind of aiming at, and I think this almost makes sense, is you could play like I think you want to fill the 4 5 and 6s in your green stuff with just like really big boys.
yeah,
Like the new Wumpus, I think would fit there.
Wumpus is currently
Um,
in, and what's great is I think that you just often have the colorless requirement.
yeah. Um, what is the 4 mana 5 5 trample that an opponent can put a legendary creature into the battlefield? Iwamori, is that right?
Oh yeah, Iwamori of the Open Fist. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Because they're
Iwamori
kind of
of the
similar.
Open Fist. Oh my god, you're bringing back like cards from when I first started playing. Surely, no, it does have trample. But of course, the legendary creature from your hand has only gotten stronger.
True.
Imagine.
Although, I looked at this when I was thinking about this, and they exist. Like I'm looking at, your Cubon
And Q Cobra.
Yes, you're
Yeah.
probably not up to your Q Cobra one. You've got 36 legendary creatures
Let me filter my clone
in a
real quick.
420.
So what do you just do? Type legendary?
Yeah.
Wow, there are less than I thought there were. What the hell?
Like, there are more than there used to be, but, like, there aren't that many.
And like a lot of them are in the same deck that you'd be playing.
Yeah.
Oh, how about that? Maybe
Well, then
Iwamori does
we
come
of course
back in.
just got that 7/5 for 6 mana or for 5
Yeah.
mana or whatever
Yeah, that bad boy is also coming in. I'm very excited to see that one.
and giving him trample. Very good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then things like Spinewood's Armadillo, Generous Oak, Storm-Killed Vanguard, like that's all of my sixes I just described, and you'll notice every single one of them has an alternate mode.
Yeah, which I love the new green of, like, all your big drops have, like, a small version as well.
Yeah.
It is very nice.
It's super, super cool. I God, now I kind of want to add. I kind of want to add the Garrick enchantment now, and I kind of want to add Iwamori. Fuck, I don't have enough slots for this,
That
man.
always the way with cubes, you just keep thinking of
Yeah,
new
what are you
cards to
doing to
add, and you're
me?
like, "God damn."
Because I think
On that note, I do have to go. I have
okay,
an
yeah,
early
that's
flight
fine.
tomorrow.
That's totally
No worries,
fine.
man.
If you ever want to talk
I,
cube, I think we could talk for hours and hours.
probably right.
Yeah,
For better or worse.
exactly. Yeah. Well, you know what? Always
Uh,
a pleasure.
how's the porch redesign going?
Uh, Finished today, apart from backlog on some of the siding.
Nice.
So next week
Congratulations.
that'll be finished.
Well,
It's exciting
I am
stuff.
flying to Pennsylvania in the morning, so
Oh my goodness, where to?
uh